This particular segment is the longest of the segments this week. It's a lot of information. We've been talking about how your thoughts can really affect your ability to handle a difficult situation, but can also make a not so difficult situation even harder for you. And this comes from the world of cognitive behavioral theory, and I've given you resources for this and references for this if you want to learn more about it. So when we go on, we'll be looking at positive self-talk, negative schemas, and we'll begin with the next slide, thoughts that hurt, thoughts that heal. How you think has a profound effect on your emotional and physical well-being. We know this. We think about something nice and then we can feel better. We think about something not so nice, we feel worse. Right now, if you're learning a lot and enjoying learning so much in this program, then you're probably feeling a little better. If you're getting a little overwhelmed by all the material that's here, you may be looking at this as stressful. We're talking about how to reframe some of those thoughts. Beliefs can also increase or decrease stress, and as I mentioned before, the cognitive behavioral psychotherapies have given us the term negative schema and positive self-talk, and that's how we're going to be talking about that in this section. So what's a negative schema? And let me give you some examples of it. They're absolute statements that give you no other options. And one of them can be, now that I have MS, I will never be able to have fun with my friends and family again. Never. I will always have a hard time. Nobody likes me now that I have MS. I'll never figure this out. Nobody understands. I can't. So you begin to see the pattern. Never, always, nobody, can't. It's an absolute. There's no place to go from there. And of course, that's going to be stressful. So let me give you some more examples. Evaluations that trap you. And why was I laughing? Because I'm recognizing, again, in the middle of this stress management program, that you may be more stressed thinking about how you cause yourself stress. But we need to be aware of what's stressful before we can take a look at letting go of it. So evaluations that trap you. Life is just hard all of the time. I'm just an unhappy person. Other people have it so much easier than me. I'm not important. I can't. I should do this. I can't handle this. I should be able to do this. It's an evaluation. There may not be any reality here. It's a way to get trapped. It's your point of view. I can't. I should. I'm not. It doesn't allow you any place to go. So let's move on to positive self-talk. Take a deep breath. We're going to look at the way to get yourself out of those thoughts that trap you. And you may have many others that I didn't even think about. Positive self-talk gives you absolute options. I need to find other things to do with my friends that are fun. If I can't do this, I can find something else. Life can be harder with MS, but I am going to figure out how to be easier on myself. I don't like having MS, but MS does not need to change the person that I am. I am going to find a way to figure this out or ask for help. And there's some more. Some of my family members may not understand, and that's so common with MS. Sometimes family members or even closest friends may not understand. But the woman in my self-help group is going through the same thing, and she understands. The people in the phone groups during this program are going through so many of the same things. Everybody in this together. You'll find someone else that will understand. I used to love to run. but I'm going to find out new ways to exercise and try them out. I will find a way to adapt, change, do it differently, not do it, do something similar, or just not do it. I am, I will. These help you. Now, let's look at evaluations. We talked about evaluations that trap you. Let's look at evaluations that free you. You'll notice again, I am, I can. Life can be hard with MS, but I am going to learn to laugh, have fun, and how not to take life so seriously all the time. And maybe you've already learned that. I get frustrated and sad, but having MS doesn't mean I have to be miserable. How can I make this easier for myself? If I am unhappy, most of the time I can ask my doctor for medication and get a referral to a therapist or get a referral to a therapist. I know that life can be hard, but there will always be people that have it easier, and there will always be people that have it harder than me. What can I do to make it easier for myself? You may already know these things, but it's nice to review some ways that you can think to make it easier. And there's even more. Others are very important, but I need to have the starring role in my life. What can I do to feel better about myself? If I am not able or not willing, maybe I need to ask for help. I may not be able to do it the way I did before, but I can find a way to do it differently. This is important. There's ways to approach things that are different. May not give you exactly what you want. Maybe it can give you something. I could do this if I think that it's the best thing to do and I am able. I can, I could, not I should. This is hard, but I'm learning to trust myself. And I will find a way to be able to handle the situation. If you can't find a way to change the situation, finding a way to handle the situation. Right now, I'm not able to do this. I need to find a way to make it easier, decide not to do it, or ask for help. So now I'm talking about compassionate listening and observing. Some people say compassionate listening sounds a little too Californian, but I'm in California, and I think most of you are too. It's talking about listening to yourself, observing yourself without judgment. The way to find out if you're using self-talk, if you're helping yourself in a positive way, the positive self-talk is to listen in when your mind is chattering at you. And a way to find out if you have a whole lot of negative self-evaluations, a whole lot of thoughts and evaluations that trap you, is also by listening in, but in a non-judgmental way. Learn how you think about situations. Be curious. Ask yourself, how am I thinking about things? Not judging yourself with, I can't believe I'm saying that to myself, but just listening. And if you find out that you're being rather cruel to yourself, it might help to just say, well, that's good to know. I bet I can be a little bit nicer. Pay attention to what you say to yourself when you're having a really hard time. Are you mean or are you encouraging? And try talking to yourself the way you would talk to someone you love. Not always possible, but try to catch yourself and think about this. You may be great at it, but you may not. And if you're really good at it, you can notice that too and say, wow, that really helped me. I'm glad I thought about it that way. A little bit more about compassionate listening. Really be willing to hear yourself when you're having a hard time. It's when those really mean voices come out, those places in us that just like to kick us when we're down. Be willing to hear the voice that says, I'm scared. Sometimes when all that judgment comes out, underneath it is, I'm scared. Be willing to comfort yourself and be willing to find that sometimes really small voice that lets you know that you did well, that you did your best, that you can do this, that you're okay. And the compassionate listening assignment will really help you with this. So, we're at the end of this program piece, all of the information. And it's time to look at what comes next. And I want to congratulate you and ask you in a way that is part of positive self-talk to congratulate yourself for getting through all of this material. Some of it was difficult to hear. Some of it you might have known before, so it might have been a bit boring. But other stuff was kind of hard. So give yourself support. And if it's hard for you to hear my voice telling you to give yourself support, if that sounds dumb, there's that negative self-talk coming at you, not allowing you to just give yourself a break. So congratulate yourself